Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. So, obviously we got to talk about our Cowboys. Took one on the chin tonight. Overtime loss to Houston Texans, 1916 NRG Stadium. Unfortunately, the talk of the town, again, is going to be about this coaching staff. Jason Garrett, obviously the big decision to go to elect to kick the ball, not go for it, on 4th and 1, I believe on the Houston 42-yard line. We elect to punt the ball, down the ball, Houston 10. DeAndre Hopkins, being the amazing football player that he is, make guys look silly in the open field, 49-yard catch and run, and they're able to walk off and win the game with the field goal. Just my quick thoughts. Last week I blew up the Indianapolis coach, Frank Reich, for his decision to go for it. I think it was 4th and 4 on his side of the field. And, you know, I've always been, you have to coach within the context of how the game is going and have, really, coach within a feel for things. If you're in a shootout, you got to kind of coach like you're in a shootout. And if you're in a defensive battle and slugfest, coach accordingly. So with that being said, I'm not going to blow up Jason Garrett like a lot of people are. And I think it's kind of low-hanging fruit and really easy to do and say, well, we invested a lot of money in Ezekiel Elliott. We invested a lot of money in this offensive line. They should be able to get a yard and keep the drive going. We play to win the game, blah, 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 10-minute overtime. All those points, I don't want to sound dismissive, all those points are valid. And if it was me personally, I think just the way I think I would have gone for it, would have liked to see a better play call, even on 3rd and 1. I think it distracts from how poorly we executed on 3rd and 1. And kind of played into Jason Garrett's mind when your running back only has 54, rushing yards on the day, and he's the leading rusher coming into the game. As a team, you run for 98 yards on 29 carries, less than 3.5 yards per carry. You're assessing that as a coach, and you're saying, hey, my defense has only allowed 1 touchdown all day. They should be able to hold up inside the 20. Houston started the drive at the 10-yard line, and they went down and made a big play. So Jason has to live with that. That's the risk. Either way you look at it, right? But there's just a big missed opportunity across the board for the Dallas Cowboys. You look at what happened today within their division, the Giants losing, the Eagles losing. It was an opportunity for them to take a step forward against a team, in my opinion, they should have beaten. And instead, it was just a series of mishaps and things that they couldn't get out of the way. And I give this team credit today, and I'm not, I'm not ready to just go on a full-blown rant about all these other things. I thought guys played really, really hard tonight, and I thought a lot of effort, was put forth on both sides of the ball. Unfortunately, the critique that we've offered, especially on this channel, is still valid. This passing game is still broken. And when something is broken, every now and again you can get it to work and funnel things out, even in situations where you're more comfortable. Obviously, this team, like I said before, there's a Jekyll Hyde dynamic developing on how they play at home versus how they play on the road. But even at home, they haven't been the most proficient passing team. Today, we struggled throwing the football again. And look, Dak Prescott fought like a warrior tonight in terms of leadership, breaking tackles, having to deal with unnecessary pressure in his face, having to deal with 2 of the best defensive players in the league, J.J. Watt, Jadeveon Clowney, and he made some unbelievable plays, eluding pressure. The play rolling left was one of the best throws he's ever made in his career, where he hit Tavon Austin. So Dak battled tonight, but he also missed very makeable throws. You can, probably put some of the blame on the Tavon Austin interception on him, although any decent NFL wide receiver is going to make that catch. But again, when he had time, he had opportunity to step and throw, was very inaccurate at times. So we don't throw the ball well. Obviously, I mentioned Watt and Clowney. Look, Tyron Smith, I hate to say it, is no longer an elite left tackle. He's still a very good player, and I think he's good with, especially in the run game. But when it comes to pass blocking, there was a play where I think Collinsworth even said it looked like Clowney was getting a release off the line like a wide receiver. It's just, I think with just his back issues and whatnot, he's just not the same football player that he was even 2-3 years ago. So that's obviously, not a huge issue or concern, but it just is what it is when we see him go up against elite pass rushers. We can expect to have those struggles. And then on top of that, our pass pro hasn't been good all season. And then we don't catch the football well. Brought up Tavon Austin today, had some issues with reeling in the football. Even Thompson today, I thought even on the interception, maybe not, just his ability to come back to the football. You got to work back to the ball. And that's one of the reasons why many of these guys we're seeing were cast-offs from their previous teams. Even the play where Dak breaks the tackle, I think it was J.J. Watt, or maybe it was Kleiner, whoever, and he rolls to the right and throws it before he gets hit again. And the wide receiver doesn't even work back to a ball. Yes, it's low, and he's trying to get out quick, but we have to help guys out across the board. Defensively, I thought we played pretty sound. I know we gave up a crap load of yards, and there were some blown coverages. There was a time where Jeff Heath came up too far, tried to take the guy in the flats when they're running kind of more like a 7 route right behind him, and that's what he needs to cover. So, we have those issues. Our safety play isn't great. Yeah, I know Zay Woods got an interception today. Shout out to him. But overall, it just hasn't been, up to scale with the other position groups. But, if you told me going in the game that Houston was going to score 19 points in an overtime game, I'll take it. But if our offense can't produce more than 20 points and, can't convert in the red zone, kicking too many field goals, people talking about how we've invested in this offensive line, they're playing okay. And when they're playing okay and the quarterback is average to below average, the wide receivers are below average, tight ends is what it is. Tight ends actually had a pretty good night tonight. But across the board, your offense isn't going to be that good, especially when you don't have any type of innovative coaching going on. I don't know what the hell they were doing running all these misdirection plays when Watt and Clowney are juiced up. You get, no quick drops and any of that stuff to try to get the ball out of Dak's hands. And he was doing a good job of extending plays, but some of the play design where they have people running 8 yards in the backfield and all this misdirection stuff, you as a coach, Scott Linehan, you have to be able to be willing to make that adjustment relatively quickly and come off of that stuff. And it's unfortunate. I thought a great effort on the part of Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch was wasted today. Thought they played very well. Byron Jones obviously had his struggles. In my opinion, Hopkins is 1B, 1A at wide receiver in this league. He's absolutely amazing. He has some of the best hands I've ever seen. And his ability, what I love about Hopkins, he catches the ball and gets smacked. But he's so strong with, just even when he was running in the open field and guys are trying to rip away at the ball, it's just unbelievable to watch. Unbelievable talent. Because Byron Jones was, for the most part, had pretty good coverage on him. Even the one they caught through, I think it was either overtime or the last drive. But he caught one on the sideline. I think it was the last drive. He caught one on the sideline. It was just, Byron Jones literally draped all over his shoulder with his hand and coming in for the swat, and his hands are still strong enough to receive the ball. So we're going to have times where we go up against great players, and great players are going to do what they do and make plays. Unfortunately, we don't have anybody like that on offense in the pass game, and it's frustrating. At this point, I'm down with bringing back Dez, and I know that kind of goes against what I said earlier. Not that I'm anti-Dez or anything, but I just believe in kind of moving on and closing chapters. But they already reneged on that once they brought back Bryce Butler, and so if he can come back saying what he said, I don't see why we can't. Especially if they can make amends with Travis Frederick and make amends with Sean Lee. The biggest thing, obviously, he went on the coaching staff, rightfully so. But he went on the coaching staff and their play calling. But if they're able to come back and he, is willing to at least keep his mouth shut about certain issues, because at this point, Des Bryant can do all the stuff that these guys are doing out there, and losing contested 50-50 balls, not coming back to the football. I can get that from, at least I know Des can do those things. So I don't know. We'll have to go back, wait for the film this week, and I'll have some more views and thoughts just on the overall breakdown, the overall aspect of where we're headed. The thing is, again, we're still in the thick of things because the division sucks. Now, maybe a team, maybe like a Washington or whoever may emerge. They have a big game tomorrow night against the Saints, but and pull away. But like, even with this, even that's 2-3, and I think 0-3 now on the road, we're still right there with everybody else in our division. And as long as you're in the race, you got to keep going forward. So I don't know what else to really chime in on. It's disappointing, but at the same token, I'm not where I was. I was down a few weeks ago after that Seattle game, but my expectations reset. And if they're gonna go about doing things the way they're gonna go about doing, then so be it. I was appreciative of the effort. I thought it was a good game against two, very, very inconsistent teams. But, as a fan, I'll be here to root every week and cheer on the Cowboys. But my bar for this team is not that high. So I had to reset it. I had to look internally, look at their team, and really ask myself, what are your expectations? So, hey, we lost. We'll move forward. We're going to be in the division race. Hopefully they can find some semblance of consistency on offense and at least try to get to average in the passing game. I don't think they'll get there. They might as well try adding in a playmaker like a Des Bryant. Because if you're average in the passing game, to some, they were a little above the average in 2016, in my opinion. And you saw how dominant they were. Now, the thing is, the offensive line is not what it was. And we're seeing that more and more every week. But at the same token, they're not, like I said, they're not playing poorly. They're just not dominant. So we got to see what happens. Y'all let me know in the comments what you think. If you're livid about this loss, who's to blame? If you're just so infuriated about the 4th and 1 play call, try to cover most of it and just, give my perspective on things as always. But let me know if you agree or disagree. And this will be the last thing I say. I've been out on Jason Garrett, and that's the other reason why my bar is down here. So those of you who are now saying that this is now the fireable offense, no, it's not. He's already done 15 things just like this, or even worse, and people still decide to stay on board and ride the ship. So might as well see the thing through during the season. So that's it. Again, y'all let me know. It's late. I'm gonna get some sleep. Be back here soon after Coach's Tape comes out and break things down as always. Appreciate everybody watching, listening, subscribing. Y'all have a good one. Thank you.